So we are a few days away from the release of the highly and lowly anticipated Captain Marvel movie. Up until now, I've done a few different videos surrounding this movie and this character. I've talked about why I'm not excited about it. I've talked about the placement within the universe and its weird timing. I've given my top 5 best possible case scenarios in terms of plot to the movie. And of course, I've broken down Brie Larson and the backlash regarding some of the things that she said. So I have no shortage of Captain Marvel videos, but it's the hot topic in the comic book realm, be it absolutely artificial and forced because nobody asked for a movie depiction of this character, but it's still the hot topic nonetheless. Let me, however, reiterate what I mentioned about the weird timing. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has been developed for a decade, and though a Captain Marvel movie was confirmed years ago, the timing makes little to no sense. That is, unless Carol Danvers is dead, vanishes, or she isn't the one actually being paged by Nick Fury. Nobody alluded to the possibility of this character even existing. She just pops up out of nowhere, and her movie is sandwiched between the biggest cliffhanger ever by way of its most powerful villain and the ultimate end game. So while it is not confirmed, she is being set up to be the ultimate hero that will defeat Thanos. And in this video, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why that makes absolutely no sense. When I bring up the actual source material, you always get those that get to screaming that this is a different universe from the prints, from the comics. They do this to excuse things that are not only flat out stupid, but contradictory to some important things in the comics as far as those characters. Make no mistake, these are comic book characters. They are based on the comics, and that's where they draw influence from. Of course, they can't cram decades of character building inside a few movies, and though some things do exist that I take issue with just as a nerd, because it's canonically incorrect, that doesn't change the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has actually done a decent job in making things true to these characters, and all of the major plot points in the movies are really just depictions of previous arcs in the comics. So with that being said, from a comic book standpoint, it makes no sense for Carol Danvers to defeat Thanos. I've covered Thanos' first 3 or 4 defeats right here on my YouTube channel in my Who is Thanos series, which is at video number 18, I believe, by the day I shot this video. Now, Carol Danvers didn't become Captain Marvel until this recent decade, but even as Miss Marvel, she had absolutely nothing to do with those defeats of Thanos, and I mean nothing. Of course, it would have made more sense to have OG Captain Marvel as a Marvel defeat him, because he was the one that defeated him first by destroying, the Cosmic Cube and that arc. It would have made even more sense to have Adam Warlock defeat him, because in the second and third times it was Adam Warlock that defeated him. And Warlock has already really been alluded to in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the end credit scene with Aisha. And she looked at that cocoon and she was saying that she called this being Adam, especially since they are referencing something as classic as the Infinity Gems and the Infinity Gauntlet, that of which was the first time Thanos did his infamous snap and eliminated half of the population in the universe. He then got cocky. Nebula, who is currently in the MCU as well, briefly took the Infinity Gauntlet, and then Warlock ended this arc as the supreme being with the Infinity Gauntlet. To me, I think it would be criminal to not have Adam Warlock or Marvel defeat Thanos. We haven't even gotten Silver Surfer in the mix, which pisses me off, but at the very least, we've got to agree that at least one of the more developed characters deserves to slay the most powerful villain that has been introduced over Carol Danvers. Again, none of this would make sense maybe in referencing the comics, but if you're not gonna have Warlock or Marvel do it, let Iron Man, or it would make a little sense for Iron Man to do it if you refer to the comics, because that was when Thanos was first introduced in Iron Man series, but at least have Iron Man or Thor do it. It would be such a joke for Carol Danvers, someone as lousy as Carol Danvers, to pop up and out of nowhere, she somehow defeats Thanos. Of course, that's what things seem to point towards, but I'm going to give them the benefit because I just don't think they would allow something like this to happen, because they have up until now done a decent job. It would just be so whack to have a character that has never been referenced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe come save the day, or a character that nobody really liked in the comics and who just happened to have a movie slid in between the largest cliffhanger with a victorious villain and the ultimate endgame movie, a character that had nothing to do with Thanos' initial defeats. So when it comes to the source material, it wouldn't make sense. And when it comes to the development of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it wouldn't make any sense. Double whammy. Please, Marvel, just don't do it.